here's your Rutherford weather forecast.
Well, good evening, everybody. It is September 11th, and we are here around 8:30 to give you an update on Francine and Rutherford County impacts. Bryan Barrett, along with meteorologist Justin Bailey. And, well, Francine made her way ashore, Justin, and here we are just waiting for that to affect us here.
Yeah, it looks like it made landfall about 6 o'clock this afternoon, just a little southwest of New Orleans, and center circulation's getting ready to move over New Orleans proper here in the next little while.
Well, let's kind of break down what we are thinking here, and if you give us just a couple of minutes, you'll get an overview, and then we'll dive a little deeper into it. The National Weather Service had a briefing today to talk about some of this, and the keywords: Francine will bring some impacts to Middle Tennessee, and heavy rainfall is right now the concern that may lead to some localized flooding, but not necessarily major flooding issues if the forecast stays on track. And Justin, I think that's an important thing to bring up here. Looking at 3 to 4 inches, if we get more than that, it could become an issue.
Yeah, 3 to 4 inches though, with the dry conditions we've had, our rivers and streams are down so low, we shouldn't have any issue dealing with that amount of water coming our way.
There is a marginal risk for severe weather, but we'll show you on a map here in just a moment. That is mainly for areas to the south and west of Rutherford County. Some spin-up tornadoes are possible there, but I'm going to use your terminology, Justin. You said this may turn out to be a nothing burger if everything stays on track from what we're seeing here with the severe weather part of it.
That's correct. And the local Nashville National Weather Service forecasters specified that about 6 o'clock tomorrow evening till about 3 a.m. tomorrow morning, if there is going to be any tornado threat, that's the window of time they're looking for the highest possibility for any spin-up tornadoes.
Well, that is kind of the overview. Let's dive in a little bit deeper. And remember, this is what we're looking for Rutherford County. And I've gone through and circled some of the maps that we're going to take a look at. And this is that severe weather possibility in terms of the tornado risk. And again, it is not high. It is kind of right here. You know, it's not zero, but it's not a great tornado risk. And it's in this marginal risk, which is in the darker shade here of green, that could be expanded a little bit. And one word that I remember from earlier today in that briefing too was that when we look at tomorrow, or Friday rather, Friday, just general thunderstorms, but there could be a risk issued here just in case some of these storms are a little bit stronger. So we'll just have to see. But Justin, kind of talk a little bit about, you have to have a lot of things for severe weather, and the shear will be diminishing as it gets here, and the instability, we don't have a lot of that. So you got to have those ingredients to get storm severe.
That's correct. Yeah, starting out, the wind shear will be at its strongest early on in the period, but that's when the instability is going to be its lowest. Now, if you get any kind of breaks or sunshine between bands that can help heat things up and increase the instability a little bit, then we could bump up those severe weather parameters just a notch. But it looks like as the instability will start to come up, that's about the same time that these wind speeds will be diminishing as this system starts to spin down.
So again, this map is for Thursday evening into Friday morning, and this is for Friday itself, the severe weather potential. Now to some of the timing here. It looks between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. for Rutherford County, roughly in that time frame. It's we can kind of break that down here in just a second and maybe give you a little closer idea, but it does look it's maybe going to be early afternoon hours for us here. Now to the rainfall totals, and this is something we're going to have to be watchful for, Justin, because the National Weather Service kind of paints us in the 3 to 4 inch range with 4 to 5 just to the southwest. And there is also, as we skip here to one of our retired meteorologist, Bobby Boyd, kind of pointing to there are some indications that there could be a swath of heavier rainfall, maybe even 5 to 6 inches. So if that happens, that could give us some problems.
Yeah, that's correct. There's some models that are picking up on a band setting up oriented northwest to southeast or almost due north to south at times, depending on which iteration or which model you're looking at. And, you know, if wherever that band sets up, I think it was HRRR had it more on top of us. The NAM's got it a little further west. Um, that's where you'll get into any sort of a flash flooding hazard. If one does develop, will be in that situation. But outside of that band, you're going to have more of your just hit and miss showers, and you'll get periods of rain off and on, and just have some breezy conditions. But I don't even think they're looking at putting us in a wind advisory at this moment. It looks like everything will stay below wind advisory criteria. So 20, 30 mile per hour winds, maybe some gusts to about 35 is about what we're looking at.
You can see there's a pretty dramatic cutoff across the state too. I mean, here's the Cumberland Plateau, and that's 1.5 to 2 inches. The further east you go, maybe a half inch to an inch, and so you can kind of see it just depends on where that center of circulation really kind of winds up going. If it's a little further to the east, a little further to the west, and then the banding, which we'll show you in a moment, those are all key parts to the rainfall totals.
Yeah, I really think from looking at the latest model runs, where that band sets up is really going to be our main weather player.
Well, let's see if we can't take a dive into some of that here and look at some of the modeling. And, well, there we go. Let me pull. I have a couple here to kind of show you. This is the 3 kilometer NAM, and roughly early morning. This is 8 o'clock in the morning. This may be a little bit early. I'm not sure. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it might be.
It's possible. Here's 10 o'clock.
It did speed up a little bit right before landfall. It was moving at a pretty good clip. Yeah, how close is the closest brand? I'm trying to pull up my radar right now. Birmingham.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could be here fairly early.
Well, and one thing about it too, we do know that it's definitely going to slow down when it gets to our area. That's why we have rain chances in the forecast Saturday, and it's just going to kind of fizzle out, but still stay around and have bring us some instability, and we'll keep showers and storms in the forecast.
That's correct. It looks like it's going to stall somewhere around Memphis, Missouri, Boot Hill, along that Mississippi River area, and like you said, really kind of wind down, fizzle out, but that energy will slowly start to drift east or southeast. And looks like another system might be spinning up out in the Atlantic off the coast of the Carolinas. So that energy might get drawn down that way. But
just something.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be kind of a long duration, a period of unsettled weather for us. But yeah.
There you go. Well, here is a look tomorrow at 10 a.m. There's 11 and 12 and 1, and we can see that the heavier rain, we may have rain earlier in the day, but the rain and storms are going to definitely be afternoon and evening. And I want to get it here too. This is 6 o'clock, and there are going to be some breaks. It's not going to be continuous, but this is what you were pointing out earlier to me, and this is where we start to see. I'll put a little circle here. We start to see maybe some banding, and you can kind of see the showers and storms just kind of continue to ride in that same area as we even go into the afternoon hours on Friday. So if it's in this location, that could be, Justin, where the heavier rainfall really is, the higher amounts could be.
That's correct.
All right, so
that's what I'm saying. That we're keeping an eye on that band, wherever that's going to set up at. If it develops like these models are showing, that's going to be our main weather player. Because you're going to have those cells just training over and over the same areas. So it won't be widespread, everybody getting copious amounts of rainfall. But if that band sets up and you get that training effect, then you could have some flash flooding threat.
Well, let's quickly take a look at the HRRR. It just gives you another model, and this does not mean that this is exactly where the rain is going to be. But this one a little bit later than the model run, the NAM we just saw. But it does show heavy rainfall here in Middle Tennessee, and still has that banding feature as well, especially as we get into the late evening and into the overnight, especially. This is about the end of that. So that's a look at the models here. Any final thoughts, Justin, as we wrap up here on Francine and its Rutherford County impacts?
No, that'd be about it. You know, look forward to tracking the system as it moves up this way and watching it develop and see how things progress. And we'll be here covering everything for you guys as needed and as warranted.
Most definitely. A reminder, if you are watching this, we know that you are very interested in what's going on with the weather. But if you want to share this with your friends, tell them to head to RutherfordWX.com. We've got links to all of the social platforms, especially YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You'll want to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for those. Well, that's been an update for you. For meteorologist Justin Bailey, I'm Bryan Barrett. Thanks for joining us here on Rutherford Weather.